Okay, I want to start with saying Shalom and a happy new Jewish year to all of you. I need to tell you how much I'm sorry that I cannot be with you and you, Heide, and the rest of you, and at this important gathering. I send you, Heide, my heartful wishes for your birthday and many happy returns of the day. I thank you very much, Heide, for your friendship and for uh, giving me the privilege to learn so much from you, uh, and, and about the work you're doing about the possibility about the changing the world. You Heide and Genevieve and indigenous studies in general. You put together the foundation to repair our world, develop a paradigm shift and alternative social order that can be the best response to the collapse of the Western civilization that fails to cope with the challenges it faces. As I explained in my new books, not published yet, but I hope it will be published soon, these three sources of inspiration our, uh, uh, are game changer. In my new book, these three sources of inspiration, they can lead us. I show how they can lead us to a better world, The audience has changed too. Young generation as well as older scholars are willing today to open their minds and their hearts uh, to such vision, that you, Heide, and Genevieve, and Barbara Mann and other women present. I think that it's time because young people and even older scholars open the mind now to our ideas. I think it's important that you, all of us, but especially Heide, Genevieve, Barbara, Vicky Nobel, and others, will travel to different locations, to different countries to spread the word, Israel may be the first station. In such a station, you will find the revolt against distinction, communes, cooperatives, eco-villages, sharing, gift economy, that push patriarchy, Western civilization, and white supremacy aside. I think this is the mission of our network to unveil the new paradigm and the alternative social world based on this three pillars, modern matriarchal studies, maternal gift economy, and indigenous studies. What I began to do in my new book. We have the knowledge, we have the power, we have the energy to spread them around the world. This is my statement. I am not sure I have enough time to present my paper here, but I will be satisfied if you take my statement seriously and begin organizing and doing the traveling and the talking everywhere, not only in papers, not only in books, but everywhere to talk about it, to meet people, to meet young people. I do it in Israel all the time. I see how the Israeli young people and even scholars, it drives me crazy that all scholars, they didn't talk to me. Now they invite me to conferences. Now they invite me to talk about the gift economy. Now they invite me to talk about my peace proposals. Something is changing. And I think we have to be there. I think we all have to be there and do something about it. Thank you.
Erella, can you hear me? Erella, you have still time to read your paper. It's not a long one.
Okay, I'll try. I talk to about my paper. I think my statement is much more important than my paper. Okay, I'll read my paper. Okay. In June 2015, Reuven Ruby Rivlin, the former president of Israel, delivered what is commonly referred to as the Four Tribes speech. He addressed the socio-demographic transformation that is remaking Israel society, now composed of four increasingly equal-sized tribes: secular, national religious, ultra-Orthodox, and Arabs. Rivlin expressed his concern that two of these groups are not Zionists and that all the groups are characterized by fear and hostility towards the others. The transformation, he further said, mandates the formulation of a new concept of partnership. He further said mandate the formulation of a new concept of partnership among the tribes while preserving and safeguarding the unique identity of each. Rivlin, in fact, touches upon a central issue in Zionist thought and Israeli social history: the search for a unified nationalist identity. However, in the early years, I think this is I think this is the mission of our network. No, in the early years, sorry, in the early years of Israeli history and even later, it meant the drive of Ashkenazi Western Zionists to adapt the values and practice of the dominant group and erase other ethnic Jewish traditions. In a way, it says unity despite difference, or the erasure of differences for the sake of unity and for the sake of strengthening the state. However, the splits among the various subcultures and identity within the country have played a major role in society and culture and have been used in politics to gain power. They became even more noticeable under the reign of Netanyahu, especially during the COVID-19 pandemic. It seems to me that President Rivlin wishes to strengthen the state over group identities and bolster the togetherness of Israeli society. Rivlin's speech provoked criticism and public debate. I wish to emphasize in particular that his approach ignores many, many social and political of, features of Israeli society, such as the many subgroups of Orthodox, the ethnic and sexual diversity among the Jews, especially those who are Mizrahi, Ethiopians, Russian-speaking, white, women, and LGBTQ. And also ignores the oppression of Palestinians inside and outside Israeli borders, each group with its own specificities and needs. His approach also fails to emphasize localism, zoning, neighborliness, and community buildings, all on the rise in Israel. This means that the sense of belonging is shifting from state and global levels to local entities. It means that the search for a unified nationalist identity is no longer acceptable acceptable in an age of multiculturalism and identity politics. The multiplicity of groups, ethnic, religious, gender, local, communal, also offer the possibility of developing a sense of belonging and identity beyond nationalism. And I want to remind you that nationalism is quite a dangerous concept and dangerous trend. Such developments seem, I suggest, to open the door to an alternative social order, one that recognizes and respects the multiplicity of groups that comprise our society. Thus, Israel's society is characterized by intersecting conflict between groups with different needs and interests, groups that compete with each other for control, economy, resource, culture, and values, making it difficult to achieve equity. The concept of common good promoted by the president seemed to me not only a reduction of the needs and conflict, but also blind to the social complexity in Israel. Moreover, these intersecting conflicts revolve on at least two levels: the relationships of each group with the state and between themselves. Thus, there is a need for a new kind of relationships and partnership between the different groups. As a first step, the evolving view, I suggest that a matriarchal social order may be the right way to achieve this new Israel, as it is built on local communes, regionalism, balance and gift economy, sharing and consensual decision making, to name a few of its main principles. As a first step, the evolving new multiplicity of structures, groups, and collectives that strive for their share in decision making in Israel will be granted autonomy to define their identity, culture, and faith, while not denying or oppressing any other group, having equal representation and shared sovereignty on the state and federation level. Such a multiplicity of groups, different from and conflicting with each other, make it necessary to construct inclusive, just, and responsible relationships among them. Issues of ethics, conflict resolution, economic and political balance become more crucial. To deal with these issues, I suggest, instead of looking for shared identity or togetherness, such as President Rivlin suggests, that the indigenous matriarchal and maternal gift philosophy be applied. I am referring especially, but not exclusively, to the following arrangement. First, ethics of gift giving and Ubuntu. Instead of the ethics of self-interest, individualism, and competition, this system of ethics views human beings as homo donans and recognizes the interconnectedness among all human beings. Second, regionalism. Region, a network of local communities, becomes a central element of society. No wonder that the Israeli government itself is promoting it too under the zoning plan that began to be established in the north of the country. Bigger is not necessarily better, says Heide, and she goes on to say, the smaller unit of society responsible for engendering person-to-person and transparent politics are given preference. but they must be big enough to safeguard their sufficiency and the diversity of their handiwork, services, technologies, and arts. The ideal dimension is that of a region. End of quote. The necessity of the central government may therefore be reconsidered, if needed at all. The state may at least be reconstructed. It will no longer be an instituted with its own interest and ideology. Its only role will be implementation of decisions made at the communal and regional levels. Third, transparent, consensual decision-making on all levels. This will provide enhanced democracy superior to the Western perception of democracy, which relies on voting and numbers. And by the way, today, making such decision-making through the internet allows for relatively easy implementation of this. Fourth, resource and relationship balance. Society will be layered with relationships linking all community through, for instance, multiple affiliation, the gift economy, and knowledge production, and that may be developed by various collectives and individuals and shared with other communities and regions. As agreed upon, centralized control over natural resources is also optional. Joint control over resources combined with decision-making by consensus guarantee that power is cooperatively shared. And fifth, economic balance. Beside the centrality of the gift economy, I suggest multiple economies will be conducted with different segments implementing diverse economic rationales. This practice will emphasize sustainability and sharing. Every community will live within its means, refrain from overexploiting its human and natural resources, refrain from the accumulation of wealth and goods, and ensure the maximal fulfillment of residents' human needs, act to produce food locally, and work to establish a local collective economy that maintain multiple health, partnership, communal life, and cooperative. It will be a non-capitalist economy that includes economies of generosity, non-profit business, worker collective, an alternative capitalist enterprise impelled by social or environmental ethics. I am well aware that such practices are not common in a Western-style society like Israel. However, it is possible for at least three reasons. First, a growing number of activists, scholars, liberal politicians, and ordinary people are engaged in advancing new ways of thinking, being, and doing. Sharing, giving, spirituality, other orientation, and ecological imperatives are among the values that are most important for them. The perspective suggested here might suit their aims. Second, indigenous cultures and practices permeate our lives in the West as a real alternative, such as restorative justice, truth commission, spirituality, and alternative healing. And third, many activists seem to have stopped fighting the system. Rather, they prefer to build new institutions from below, including gift economy practices, cooperative, familial communities, eco-villages, independent knowledge centers, and so on. Yes, the transition is not yet here, but it is on the way. Thank you.